actually a historical city in Taiwan! I hope you're not on a diet because this is just a taste of what the city has to offer. Temples, temples, temples. Taiwan's cultural capital has more temples than any other city in the country. Welcome to Tainan! Welcome to the place where Taiwan's history began, where many of the oldest temples and surrounding architecture coexist with modern-day society. Yep, we're in Tainan, the oldest city in Taiwan and formerly the country's capital. The city's cultural background has produced many notables, from former Taiwanese presidents to famous international Oscar-winning directors. Not all of the notables were in the academic or arts, however. Several popular international sports celebrities also claim Tainan as their birthplace. I'm here to meet with perhaps Taiwan's future rowing stars.
好，等一下下去的时候，请特别注意一下平衡，尤其是我们到我们临安桥的时候，在这一段稍微要做一些冲刺，把我们的桨停。好，来准备下水啊！
老师，
嗨，教练。
你好，
嗨，你好。好想念我小的时候，不是想我在大学的时候有滑。我刚刚有偷偷的问，我问说你会不会很凶？他们说不会啊。
有一点点啦，因为墨镜看不到眼镜，他们都会觉得比较凶一点。
所以你们常常在这样子这个河边？
对，我们划船队都是在这个台南运河这边划，从那个临安桥到我们等一下过去的承天桥，我们就是在这两段时间在划。
OK， 真的好，我真的好会想念那个。我在大学在 Boston，我们有那个 Charles River，我们也会划，但是我是划8个人的。然后我记得每一次只要经过一个桥，那个就是一个我们会想到过了一个阶段，就是等于已经过到一个地标吗？对，就是想到OK 好，快到家了。
要不要我们这次来体验一下我们的划船？
好吧。
好，走。
OK team， OK， 准备好了哈。OK， 好 ，Ready。1, 2, 3, go! Okay, I've got my team members ready. We're here in Tainan, on the river, in the city. They have no idea that I haven't rowed in like 10 plus years, but that's okay because I'm really high and I'm really excited. Plus, look at the view. So this is the river. We're gonna hopefully try to stay on it and not in it. Let's do this. The surrounding water has always played an important part in Tainan history. Numerous rivers run through the city, and back during the Dutch occupation in the 17th century, traveling by boat within the city was one of the main methods of getting around. It was almost like a Far Eastern version of Venice here. Towards the end of the 17th century, Koxinga, with his 8,000 war junks and 30,000 soldiers, along with his artists, musicians, craftsmen, and master chefs, all crossed these waters to change the face of Tainan, if not Taiwan. I'm starting to get a little bit sore, but I gotta tell you, I feel good. There is something about being on the water in a boat this early in the morning, exercising, that just makes you feel so young again. Or maybe it's the fact that I'm surrounded by really strong and muscular men who are helping me row this boat. Whatever it is, I really like this. This is a great feeling, and look at the view. Even if you're not really rowing, you can just look around. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's go! Although much has changed since these waters first helped form modern-day Taiwan, the locals here continue to enjoy the rivers that flow through the city.
Water has become such an integral part of having fun in any country, especially on an island like Taiwan. From surfing to rowing to being the captain of a boat on the marshes in Sigu.
Woo! Sigu Lagoon. We're surrounded by sandbars here, and this is Sigu Tainan. This beautiful wetland is where all the birds from the north during the winter, they fly down here to avoid the cold into the summertime. Over 200 species of different kinds of animals, they have built a home here. I mean, this is where we can go too, down here in Tainan, you know, when it gets really cold in Taipei. And why is this a must-see? Because the water here has been preserved since a long time ago, and it's never been polluted or changed. And so this is the perfect place for them to grow oysters. That's why they got all these oyster racks around there. And that's why Sigu oysters are super renowned in Taiwan, because they're very, very fresh.
The high concentration of salt makes the 1,600 square feet of inland sea ripe for growing the best quality and unadulterated oysters. With farmers tending with such dedication over these racks and racks of oyster homes, these spitting shellfish are as juicy as they get. Hanging like a necklace of mother of pearls, they're just spitting and waiting to be slurped up, raw or cooked. Brace yourselves, oyster lovers. This is your paradise.
Look what else I found, treasure. These are little sea snails, I think. Anyway, these are the ones who are competing with us humans eating the oysters, so they're no good here in the oyster farm. So I picked some for the farmer. Bye-bye!
These waters have succeeded in satisfying our appetizers. Now what's next for the main course? Our journey in Sigu's aquaculture has only just begun, with fish farming being one of the most popular practices in these wetlands. And while this can easily be a seafoods lover's adventure, the fish farming culture is also a source of entertainment as well as providing a unique way of taking a vacation. Compared to city life, a fisherman's daily routine here is simple and straightforward. We can follow their lead by leisurely staying in this resort with renovated fisherman huts, where they used to stay while they watch over the farm.
Here I am in Chigu, a rural part of Tainan, and I'm surrounded by fishing lakes. I mean, this place kind of reminds me of when I was in Alaska fishing in the wild, wild ocean. It was super fun with the wind blowing in my hair. But here, I mean, don't be fooled by its humble surrounding. You can actually fish here in a more calm setting. Ooh, doesn't this look like igloos that the Eskimos built made out of ice cubes? Yeah, this is where the fishermen live. But this, in Tainan, is made out of straw. It's a lot warmer that way. I don't really like the cold. Let's go check out where the fishermen live.
What a cool room, and the fan isn't even on. Photographs of nostalgic fishing memories and bamboo mattress to sleep in. This simple abode is only 2 steps away from the fish farm pond. Just as Herbert Hoover said, fishing is much more than fish. It is a great occasion when we may return to the fine simplicity of our forefathers. We can agree that there is a quiet satisfaction in growing your own food. The best cooked foods are always homemade, as they carry extra love during preparation. The aroma of this homegrown and homemade meal is leading me in by the nose.
This is Adrian, who has prepared all the dishes from here in the wetlands. They're all local traditional foods here. Anyway, let's just dig in.
这是都野菜嘛，然后就只要是白虾啦、虱目鱼啊、无锅鱼都是我们当地特色的，我们已经用海水进来养殖的。小时候吃鹅啊都是一整桶一整烂，然后生吃哦，都这样生吃，可以吃一整。
哇，
对，
你们这边有生吃啊？
对对对，因为这边我们的没有污染，所以那吃起来就是很甜。
Ajen passionately describes how she moved from the big city to this rural area to be with her husband. Whether it's because of love or this uncomplicated lifestyle or these succulent fat oysters, she's content with her life. Basics of life is the key to Joy 101. We always tend to take for granted the most basics in life: sunset, wind, the fragrance of fresh air, and even something as everyday as salt. I know you are looking forward to me having a snowball fight, but these are salt mounds, not melted snowmen. These salt fields are like a desert in Dubai, warm and vast like a never-ending stretch of God-given land, with a strong and sharp smell sticking to my skin.
When I travel around, I like to carry a bag of sea salt in my bag because it alkalizes your energy and takes out all radiation from your body, which is great. I bet you've played with sand when you were a kid, but have you ever played with salt? It's really fun. So today we're gonna make salt castles.
Ouch! I'm trying to be delicate, but this is not like walking on snow. It's like a deadly Taiwanese foot massage. Oh, much better. Wearing the shoes of these farmers for a day has proved to become a quiet but ecstatic collective movement in this shared moment. Taking a step at a time across the salt fields in the sunset, I realized what a small drop I am in the bigger universe. The chaos from my mind purges as I surrender to this humility of being as tiny as these salt grains, a speck on the earth. But every grain of salt is earned by a drop of sweat, toiling all day in the sunshine.
This is hard work. I mean, they do this from 8:30 in the morning until the sun goes down. And the sun reflects the salt, and it's really not good for their eyes. I mean, I go out and I get a pack of sea salt just for my own luxurious reasons. And I have no idea how much diligence and sweat is put into this. It makes me appreciate sea salt so much more.
These little white critters run the world. They are the heart of breakfast, lunch, dinner, the key to food preservation, and a healing agent. Salt is a gold in our everyday life. Without it, life and food would be bland.
Oh, yes. This is what we've been waiting for. Food, glorious Tainan food. Hurry up and finish already, commercial break. Welcome back, or I should say, 你好. For here in Tainan, and indeed much of the southern part of the island, you're likely to overhear traditional Taiwanese conversations as opposed to your modern-day Mandarin. Another characteristic Taiwanese phrase you'll hear very often is 加爸bui, or have you eaten yet? It's part of the Taiwanese way of saying, welcome, how are you? And, what? You haven't eaten to the point of being absolutely stuffed? Come into my house and let me treat you. To appreciate the truest of Taiwanese foods, many say you must head south to the birthplace of modern Taiwan. And whilst Tainan is also known as 小吃城, or the city of small eats, there is nothing small about the food on offer today. I love to eat. And anyone who's a foodie here in Taiwan knows that if you want a good local Taiwanese meal, you gotta go to Tainan. But now, this is just ridiculous. I think they're trying to kill me with all this food. Look at this.
不要害怕，我们台湾人就是这种样子哦，很热情的，就不怕人家吃哦。
Okay,
对。
well, I've never really been afraid of eating food, but okay, now I think I'm starting to be afraid. But what we have here is basically food from Tainan. These are all local specialties, delicacies that have been around for some hundreds of years. Actually, my grandma used to make this when I was a kid. But they used to be around in night markets. 那都是牙起来的物件，古早的时阵嘛，对不对？
古时候呢，他们其实都是在菜市场啊，还是在夜市，还在聚集在庙宇旁边的，有的是用推车的哦。我小时候记忆就是这样子。然后本来都是也上不了什么台面的，就是大概都安尼就青菜那个味安尼哈，所以其实是到最近才演变成。 可以上了我们的台面的，然后可以招待一些外国人。
I have a bad habit of wanting to try a bit of everything. I usually end up ordering way too much. The great thing about Tainan is here, most things are sold as snack-sized meals or bites. Street vendors and stalls all have been making the same food item for years, so you can easily build an appetite walking from one to another. You know when you really miss home, and you just have to eat something that reminds you of home. Like for example, for me, whenever I'm getting a little bit of homesick, I just have to eat just one bite of a tortilla or a fajita, and I immediately am taken back home. Tainan has that effect with food. Like you can just take one bite of any of these dishes. Maybe it's a noodle, a simple noodle, or even like I said, this batzang, this rice dumpling thing, and you're immediately brought back to hundreds and hundreds of years of history of food. Now, this is my kind of place. It's time for me to loosen up my pants. Excuse me. I have a lot of dishes to get through, so I guess we're gonna get started.
Okay.
Like this restaurant, many famous or favorite eateries in Tainan have their humble beginnings as a hole in the wall. They master one signature dish and take it from there. And in this case, I then take it straight into my mouth. Oh, the demands of being a tourist in Tainan. The morning after my Tainan snack attack, I head to one of the oldest residential areas in all of Taiwan, the West Central District, the history of which can be traced back to over 300 years. Not only that, but 200 years ago, this area was the capital of the city, which means that we are in the former capital of the city that was the former capital of the country. And with Tainan having the highest number of historically registered buildings in all of Taiwan, the West Central District doesn't fail to echo its past glory everywhere you look. The local government has put into place extensive restoration and maintenance plans to preserve the historical heritage sites in the region. Much effort has been made to retain the historical feel of many of the areas in this district, while still accommodating modern standards of living. A unique combination of the old and new can be found in my next stopover point. Wow, you really can't judge a book by its cover. So this is essentially a historical hotel built back in 1970s, about 40 years ago. 不好意思，我要参观一下，谢谢。So what they've done is they've converted this historical hotel, a 40-year-old hotel, into something more modern, a little bit boutique-y with a lot of character. Look at this little waiting room here. So what they've done is they've taken some modern, look at this, it's a very futuristic type couch, per se, and they put it next to, this must be an antique. I mean, look at this. It's a wooden piece of what you could find in a lot of old houses here in Tainan. And they've kind of juxtaposed it together, so it gives it a nice little kitschy feel. Kind of reminds you of the past, but it also has a little bit of the future. And check out the stairs. Something that kind of gives you some furniture store feel. Look at this couch here. This kind of reminds me of my place at home. So this is actually the old business district of Tainan. This used to be where all the really wealthy, affluent businessmen would be. Back in the day, about 40 years ago. And what they've done is they've now converted into a more modern, kind of interesting, artistic boutique hotel. And what they've done is every single room, we're gonna show you that now, has a theme of Tainan. So before you've even gone to visit Tainan, you already get a little taste, little feel of what Tainan City was like. And it's a very historical city, so there's lots of art, there's lots of history, lots of culture. Every single room has its own theme. So let's go meet one of the designers now. He is very, very well versed in the history of Tainan. Wang 大哥。嗨，你好，你好，不好意思打扰到你的画画。
没关系。
所以老师现在你在画的是我都看过了。
是。
这个都是旧的古迹嘛？
对，旧的古迹，然后它是在不同的时代，在台南，比如说我们今天看到是明朝的，那这个呢是明治时期呢，这个是清朝的，这是明治时期，那这个呢又是清朝的，所以这个城市呢，它涵盖了各种的时期的建筑，然后呢有老的，有新的，像这个也是一样，当时候是日本时候的市政府啊，可是它现在已经变成文学馆了，所以我觉得在新旧中间，它本来就可以不同的使用的空间，跟你的想法在里面，所以你这个第一个地方也是如此。它也是一样，把30多年前的老房子，然后呢，包括连店的名字都回收起来，然后重新呢赋给它一个新的一个感觉，跟一个让人家很惊喜跟惊奇的一个空间。所以我们想办法把当时候所有的建筑元素跟产业的元素呢，就放在每一个的房间当中。所以每一个房间都变成每一个不同的，好像一堂课一样，打开每一个房间就进入到每一个不同的时空胶囊。开，我们来看看
淮山 Medicine Shop，
是，就是一个药，中国的中药。这个就是非常特别的地方哈，它有淮山，它有莲子，它有这些的东西。这边是我们台湾一个料理叫四神汤。四神汤就是4种不一样的药材熬煮出来的那个小猪的肠子。那这个就是那4个药。
感冒的时候可以吃。
你可以拿起来闻一下，很香哎。
是真的。
它是真的。对，他就利用一个这个方式，然后来告诉你说这个房间，它整个就是一个药局、药铺。这个这个就好玩了，就是那个药很长哦，那你不是它上面有一些，你就把它碾断。
哦，哇，这是真的哎。
这是真的，这是真的，
而且
蛮重的，
对
它是铁，是的。然后呢，你看看在后面的地方。
哦，
他就是
我这个就是当老板。
哎，这当老板，你就是也说，哎呀，我有问题，我不舒服。
对，我送快。
啊，然后会扫。
OK， 然后就是这个，哎，他还接那个画画跟照片跟真的。
对，真的抽屉，假的抽屉，然后画的，然后就是虚拟出一个药铺子出来。
对啊。
在外面一个很棒的一个
阳台。
是的。
哦。
Yep， 好一点。
哎，真的是有中药的那个料层。
对，你可以试试看。对，就帮你安排。也放下去。
哦。Oh my gosh， 好舒服哦。
好舒服。
Okay, I've decided this is gonna be my room. I like this Chinese herbal medicine room. Not only that, you really feel like you are literally in the postcard. I mean, you look out and you can see, life in Tainan. You see some old buildings, and then you hang out here and you're inside the postcard because everybody can look at you past the trees. I can even see the little bazang ama down there. I think I might have to get one later. It looks pretty good. I like this room. 我这里已经把它当成我家了。
Once thick with nostalgic Tainan memories, Hai'an Road is like the old flame becoming the new lover as the local artists breathe restoration into its half-crumbled, abandoned historical buildings with colorful strokes of innovation. Everyone and everything deserves a second chance, and this recycled space is rocking its rebirth. Kind of like Robert Downey Jr. making his comeback from his rehab days into grade A superstar oozing with charisma.
其实这边的建筑真的很棒哎，好有特质哦。对啊，那你算是 architect designer 还是画画家？
混在一起，
全部混在一起。
我们有做建筑，也有做一些装置。其实这里头跟外面有很多旧的家具，是我们从附近回收回来，要重新再加上颜色，画上线条。
那很环保哎。所以你就是回收每一个东西，然后放在用在这个餐厅去布置。
对，包含这些桌子，都是收集回来的老家具。
那我们可不可以去外面？你可不可以介绍一下它的那整个，就像舞台，
好啊，
外面的。
不过它等一下9点之后，那个外面会有特别的效果。
哦，真的啊？有什么东西？
它那个整个灯会亮起来。
其实蛮有意思，是找一些老的建筑，其实你尽量保留它老的那个样貌，不要加入一些新的创意。我就试着用比较像浮雕的方式去找的附近的旧的家具，然后把它切破半，然后把它镶到那个墙壁上。那上面的空间其实是一方面透过附近居民的讨论啊，然后一方面是透过我们在上面去做一些想象，所以把以前的生活场景就把它画回来。所以假如可以把握住这样的特色，让大家就可以看到那个新跟旧的对话，其实是大概都还蛮能够吸引大家去。
因为马路的关系，开马路，所以就人都搬走了，它就变成一个空屋了。中间有一个天井，通常还有一些阳台，光线是会进去，所以两边可以。
Lu，我想问你，你为什么会用蓝色？为什么蓝色？
其实蓝色跟我们的建筑背景有关，蓝色叫做 blueprint， 蓝晒图
blueprint。我觉得你这样做很棒，就是你用一个空间，就是一个 space， 然后呢，它其实看起来是，就是像 garbage， 就是什么都没有很漂亮，但是你把它去布置，去加进去你的 creativity 的时候，它就变成一个不一样的地方了，然后就变就是很环保，可是它还是有那个回忆。
Intuitive and logical, Blueprint takes art to a new level, incorporating consciousness towards the environment. true art inspires more art. The genius behind this is a triple threat. From Taiwan to Berlin, turning history into new revelations of space, this Tainan local goes global.
Coming up, the newest movies in Taiwan's oldest cinema. Start the popcorn and come join me in row J after the break. Being the birthplace of modern Taiwan, it's no wonder that you'll find the roots of Taiwanese cinema within the city of Tainan. From its humble introductions to cinema at the beginning of the 20th century during the Japanese occupation, Taiwan now has a burgeoning local film industry, with Taiwanese productions showing side by side with international blockbusters. It was movie theaters such as the one I'm about to visit that we had to thank for Taiwan's modern-day success in the film industry. It was places like these that inspired some of today's great artists to produce the hits that receive international acclaim today. Hi, 你好，我要来看 Star Trek。
还是从这边上去，谢谢。
谢谢。We're going to the movies. We're going to the movies. Ooh, snacks. 下面有口到底的。
台南古早味的。
好。Okay, so this is not just your standard cinema. We happen to be in one of Taiwan's oldest cinemas. 谢谢，谢谢. It's about 60 years old. You can even get traditional Tainan snacks. And what's cool about this place is it's over 60 years old. It's very historical. And in fact, it's been frequented by some famous people, say like Li An. Maybe you've heard of him? Famous director? You might know him as Ang Lee. Anyways, he came here as a kid, got lots of inspiration, and we're gonna go watch a movie now and see if we can get some inspiration. 你好，谢谢. Look, even the stairwell. These are 60-year-old stairwells. Very, very cool old building where you can watch new films. I love that. Another great thing, not only are we supporting the local economy, it's buy one, get one free. So you know where I'm gonna be for the next 4 hours or so. Oh, movie started. Bye. I have so many fond memories of going to the movies. It's one of the only places where you can sit in a dark room and share tears, laughters, snacks, and spilled drinks with a few close friends and hundreds of total strangers. And sometimes you can do it all while wearing funny 3D glasses. The world we live in today. Was it as good for you as it was for me? Oh. Don't any of these people have to go to work? Well, something else that's really cool about this theater that I have to show you. Check this out. So your standard theater, you watch the screen. But look at this. Hello, hello. Thank you, thank you. I think they think I'm crazy. But this is like one of those traditional old theaters where you actually have a stage here. And you can have a theater production, you can have like a movie. It's all very cool. This is not the only thing that's traditional about this theater. The other thing is outside, so let's go check it out. Oof. Now, do you remember those movie posters hanging up outside the movie theater? Every single one of those was painstakingly hand-painted, an old tradition that refuses to die out in this historic cinema. Right from the start, I'm impressed at the discipline these artists must have to spend hours upon hours on a poster, only to repaint over the entire thing in a week. I really feel like it's a shame. I have a brush in my hand, I have paint behind me, and I don't want to paint anything because look, it's already it's beautiful art piece. I mean, this teacher has been doing this for 40 some odd years. The cinema that we see behind us is really quite historical. 60 years that it's been around. I mean, it's where Li An watched his movies, and this painting has been, this art form has been around for that long. This is something you don't really see that much anymore. So it's Jay Chow. I'm gonna turn him into Avatar. Oh well, I guess that's the way it's done. All right, it's done. Without changing his brush, this artist manages to mix all the colors together to form this new poster. Meanwhile, refusing to pay any attention to the girl who's next to him, making a mess of everything. I am so impressed. You know, in fact, you should be too. So everybody at home, join me now. Put down your things. Big round of applause for Sifu here. What James Cameron took 10 years to create, he's recreated in 2 hours. Look, that's actually Avatar right there. Completely handmade. You know, some artists will spend their entire lives hoping to have their artwork on display. Sifu here has his work on display all the time for the whole world to see, and he deserves it because this is really, really impressive. I actually didn't do anything. In fact, I probably hindered his artwork. So I'm gonna do something that I'm actually better at. I'm gonna go into the car and announce the movie times. So, wanna join me? This traditional style of advertising movie times is yet another example of Tainan preserving its heritage. Of course, you can put up the original printed movie posters. Obviously, you can look up film times from the internet. But this is the city that sticks with the little details, so that the whole retains a historical framework upon which to build. Okay, so how cute is this? I'm in a car that's about as old as I am, and in car years, that's pretty old. So we're hanging out in this historical city, announcing basically million dollar Hollywood movies. And it really makes me want to support the local culture, the local mom and pop stores. Makes me want to go to the local bread store and buy some bread there. But maybe you can do the same. Go to your local theater, support them when you have free time, and then the other times, go home and watch me on TV. Come on, Taiwan.
Coming up very soon, Nadia learns a little details as the building blocks of becoming the next goddess. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Regardless of culture or religion, prayer is a universal expression of hope and faith. Whether it is sitting in lotus position in silence, or doing 1,000 prostration towards an idol, or going to mass to worship the same god or gods, our right and left palm always meet in the middle to humbly bow ourselves before the great force, which protects and guides us. The power of collective devotion can be found in many sacred cities like Amritsar, where Sikhs gather at the Golden Temple, the Vatican City, home of the Pope, Mecca, for the final pilgrimage of Muslims, and here in Tainan, with Taoist, Confucius, and Buddhist followings, have the most temples in all of Taiwan. This is one of the oldest and most significant Taoist temples, Great Queen of Mother Temple. Over 3 centuries and dozens of restorations later, this queen of all Matsu temples is still standing strong, pulsing with fertile blessings.
I just prayed for blessings from Matsu, the goddess of the sea. She's a protector of all of the water and the fishermen all around Taiwan. And you know, this isn't just any temple. This is truly sacred ground. I mean, this entire temple is the mother temple of all Matsu temples in Taiwan. In every lunar calendar in March 23rd, everybody who's a follower of Matsu come here to celebrate her birthday. I would love to be here on that day.
As an avid meditator, being in any type of house of worship brings my awareness deeper within, and my body starts to become very light. Words are powerful, and with thought and intention behind each stroke, they become the key to manifesting any reality. You believe it, you create it. A splash of holy water and brushing of some sacred leaves later, I'm supposedly purified by this master. It is quite similar to receiving Diksha blessing, which in my experience can be described as being hugged by Ananda, pure bliss.
You know, Matsu wasn't always a goddess. She was a regular human being, just like you and me. And she was so amazing in her protection and blessings that she did become a goddess. That gives me hope. You know, maybe one day I can be a host and turn to a goddess where all the hosts will revere to me and worship me on my birthday. Let me just eat this. That's what I prayed for. Bless me, Matsu. Next goddess.
I feel it.
As Goddess Matsu is busy making my prayers come true, I should begin my training as the host goddess to be. Once again, back to the basics of building a glorious temple like this temple. Lesson 1, designing my own lanterns. After all, what are temples without lanterns to light the way?
王老师好。
哎，你好。
你好。
哎，你好。
王老师，我刚刚去庙拜拜，然后我看到那些灯，我觉得很漂亮，我很想要跟你学怎么画灯笼，可以吗？
也是啊。
那这种灯笼是哪一种的？
现在我看到的这个是庙里面用的传统灯笼，它是竹片的，然后是用布的。我所从事的灯笼行业，在台南府城很多地方可以看得到，甚至有些地方就是以产业作为街名。在台南是比比皆是。传统上我们会喜欢使用灯笼，最主要的是因为它的造型是圆的，会象征一种很圆满的一种象征，然后会有一种谐音出来。我们去点灯，会去添灯。如果添灯的话，有一种谐音，把它翻成台语就是添灯。
This man has dedicated his life to using creativity in spreading light in this simple and profound way, and it only takes one light to light up an entire room of darkness.
This is the finale of the masterpiece lantern that I made. I've stepped into darkness to show you the light of my design. Now, this shape of the lantern represents perfection of anything you want. Well, I do have a perfect job. I could use a perfect body, perfect bank account, and a perfect husband. You, perfect husband, where are you?
You're not very scared, are you? Actually, what I should be saying is, because Santa Claus would be very, very jealous. We are here in Tainan's Sugar Factory's chimney. It's humongous. Imagine all the presents that you could get through this thing. Actually, it's more like a smokestack. So 70 years ago, you wouldn't want to be here. Actually, this sugar factory is over 100 years old. It kind of got deserted, and some artists have come here, and they've converted it into something else. What, you ask? I hear them now. Or maybe that's me. Woo! Woo! And motorcycle. Woo! Anybody there? If a tree falls in a forest and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound? If a drum is played in the middle of an abandoned sugar factory, will people come to hear it? The answer? Yes. Half a decade ago, the 10-drum percussion art group saw the potential of this abandoned sugar refinery in Rende and transformed it into the cultural epicenter for percussionalists in Taiwan. 10-drum found the facility's huge warehouses, large open spaces, to be the perfect place to set up shop. Woo! 哇，我看到他们这样子动，真的很快。
对，没错，因为这个地方是已经将近100年的糖厂，那我们就是把这个闲置空间，那重新再运用，赋予它新的生命，变成一个艺术的人文的地方。那
所以你们就开始，
就在这边很自然的就把这个古乐带来这个100年糖厂。
而且你们有这么大的空间。
对啊，足大的，足大的，
所以水刷你那边安怎算安怎算？
对啊，无唔对。
这敢是日本的？
唔是，这是阮家己10个家己研发出来的，就是用咱台湾的迄种阿美族迄种人咧种糯米，迄无，迄酒无，甲伊做伊的歌声，有迄勇士的感觉，还有迄个 查囡仔吼，足水的曲线之美吼，
哎，迄个含小提琴共款啊，小提琴古早时阵用迄个琴嘛，是讲含查某的琴共款。
对。
哦，是，所以这是对伊腰嘛。
对，伊的腰吼。
啊，伊无欢喜时阵伊就。
好，要试看卖啊，对无？
好啊。哦，可以啊。
系，啊，阮同源哦，试看卖啊。
OK。
哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒。
OK。
The movements taught and performed by this group remind me of a martial art form. Each stance, each hit, deliberate yet seemingly effortless. Everything that's the complete opposite of what you can see me attempting here. Right, that's enough of my talentless banging. The real show begins right after the break. One would think that a former sugar factory come drum museum and concert hall would stand out here in the outskirts of Tainan City. But you couldn't be further from the truth. In keeping with the conservationist spirit that is alive and well here in Tainan, the 10-drum percussion group have been very careful to be as green as possible in their design and renovation of the 5-hectare facility, transforming treatment tanks into lotus ponds and sugarcane waste into soundproof canopy.
迄阮的课也收集吼，足侪国家的鼓，啊像这个韩国的太平鼓，啊这是蜥蜴做的吼，
蜥蜴，
蜥蜴皮编起来的鼓，对，啊这个印度鼓吼，塔布拉，
对的，塔布拉，
嘿，啊这是中东的吼，
哇，这是
乌兹别克，啊这是蟒蛇皮，蟒蛇皮，这个是新疆手鼓，打起来很好听。哦，啊，我刚有食你个上
大粒的。
哦，这兽皮的吼，啊，这鼓它直径吼210公分啊。
这是真的皮？
真的，爱用2只牛。
我在想讲安怎接？
迄无接的，迄无接，这安尼就1只牛啊。
哇哦！
啊，所以2面吼，两面吼，来2只牛。啊，这毋是有钱吼，会当买着。啊，这就爱靠缘分，较会当吼。哇！啊，有这种遮大只的牛皮。
对，你个知有一寡人拢为细汉的时阵就开始养一个牛，因为要做皮包。你是养一个牛，爱做一个鼓。哇！
真大吼，真大。
所以这现在就是拢在讲鼓。
鼓的迄个故事，鼓的乐器。
I can't think of a better way to convert an old warehouse than storing these beautiful and fun drums from all over the world. Where else would you be able to hold one of the world's largest cowhides turned drums? It's a great collection bringing together not just drums, but stories, people, and traditions together. The sounds of my imaginary sugar factory clunking and train hoot is drowned out by the real sounds of the drummer's performance. So without further ado, it's time to see the masters here strut their stuff, or bang the drums to be more precise.
Like acrobatics and then hitting and drumming, and you know what's really cool? It's an equal opportunity. There's actually just as many girls up there as there are men. Big round of applause. Big round of applause.